This is a Turnkey Three community in South Oak Cliff. It has houses, but it doesn't have any people. Part of the problem is that though Turnkey was designed to be a housing program for families of moderate income, the classification of families that Turnkey wants to move in here is high. Therefore, people who get houses like this are carefully screened. Mr. Tom Jones is the developmental director of the Turnkey Three housing program here in South Dallas. Mr. Jones, what does it take to move into one of these houses?
Well, first of all, it would take the family composition and an income not less than $3,100 nor more than $6,000.
How come you don't have enough people living in the homes here?
Well, right now we are faced with the problem that in the two-parent families that the people are making more money than required for this particular program.
Well, what kind of houses do you have here?
Well, we have 3, 4, and 5 bedroom homes here, and offset we have a 3-bedroom dormitory which is built on the 4-bedroom scale.
Everything is furnished in the kitchen, but
right.
That's all.
Right. Everything is furnished in the kitchen, and the house is equipped with central heat. But if you want air, you have to add air yourself.
How about what's the market value of these houses?
The market value will run from $16,000 to $19,000.
Typical of families living in turnkey housing are Mr. and Mrs. Larry Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, how do you like living in this house?
I love it very much. I think Dallas has always been behind in progress, and I think this is one step forward. They have fine leaders here, and it's a wonderful feeling knowing that a man is making a certain amount of money on the low-income bracket can easily get a home. Actually, moving out here, to me, would seem like a dream. See, we've been living in apartments for as long as I can remember. And then the offer for a home was totally overwhelming.
Why do you think they're having trouble filling up these houses?
Well, just like I say, we have great leaders. They're screening out the best possible people for these homes, which is a fine thing.
We're very serious about the programs that we have to break down barriers to minority group employment, but that has no part of this particular visit. Obviously, that not only in Dallas or in the Southwest region, but throughout the country, we are hopeful for improvements in this area, and we've given a lot of effort and attention to it. I guess it's one of the priority items that we early established in our tenure in the Labor Department.
Do you think Dallas is falling short?
I understand that Dallas has done one of the outstanding jobs, actually, in what is known as the Apprenticeship Outreach Program, done one of the best jobs in the nation.
For South Dallas Fair Park area homeowners, it seems to be one problem right after another these days. Now it's the construction technique for the southbound Interstate 45 just south of the downtown area. It seems this superhighway has been in the planning stages and most recently construction for 5 years. But only in the last few months did the homeowners in this area find out there would be no exit or entrance ramps through the South Dallas area. Today, Mrs. Perry Davis and E.F. Heggins talked with newsmen about the problem.
That it was, we wouldn't have any side road, exit, things like that.
Were you assuming that there would be until
yes,
the 27th of May?
We didn't think that they would do us like that.
Jerry, for a number of years there, I know, as you know, the University of Houston sought entrance into the conference. I think right now the administration feels very strongly that if the Southwest Conference would extend an invitation, they certainly probably would receive it favorably, but I doubt seriously if there will be any petitioning from our standpoint.
Now, you appear on national television once and then regional once.
Right. We have the Florida State game on Thanksgiving night nationally, and then our Miami of Florida game just after the Arkansas-Texas game on December 6th or 5th, whenever it is.
How much will the athletic department net from those two games?
Well, in the neighborhood of $355,000 is the payoff for your national and regional. It's a very attractive situation.
Do you think that might influence the conference in future years to include the university?
Well, there's no question about that. This puts us on a great deal more competitive basis, and I think that, like anything, if someone doesn't need you, they don't want you. But if it gets to the place where you might add substantially to the financial situation, then I think you become more attractive.
The big question, I guess, is when will Gary Mullins be able to play?
Jerry, there's no question of it. Everyone that I see asks about Mullins, and he's made very fine progress and still has a long way to go. We're hoping to get him in the middle of October. I believe this strongly, that if anyone can do it, he will do it.
Do you have any advice to the University of Texas who might wish to withdraw in future years from the conference and go it independently?
No, I'll tell you what, I think each school has its own separate problems. I think there are advantages and disadvantages to being an independent. I think there are advantages and disadvantages to being in the conference. I think they realize that right now that we are extremely competitive, and I think to maintain their position of dominance, it's imperative that they get together with the University of Houston. That is, in the minds of all the sports people.
Starting this year, there will be one teacher aide for every 15 regular classroom teachers in the state, and one aide for every 3 special education teachers. The job of teacher aide has, up until now, been mostly a clerical one, that of grading papers, supervising play periods, and the like. But now, in a state-mandated program, the aides will be taking over more of the academic workload of the teachers. So the aides must be trained. That's accomplished in workshops like the one being held for Regional 11 at Springtown High School today and tomorrow. 65 aides are taking part in what is called in-service training. I talked with Mrs. Minnie Alice Suo, who's coordinating the workshop.
There has been a need for quite some time for aides being trained, and because of legislation that has come about this past year, it has been necessary to train the aides. Special education, Senate Bill 230, says that we should, and then aides for the classrooms have been necessary. So the Regional Service Center is trying to provide the services and the consultant services to train these aides, instruction to each child.
By implementing the teacher aide program on a mandatory basis, the state hopes to eventually take some of the load off the shoulders of habitually overworked teachers. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move in Springtown.
They came out and explained their plans to us. After we requested, they come out and explain.
But why did they tell you?
Why?
Why?
Did they have a reason for elevating?
Really, I believe they stated the reason they were elevating the highway was to displace as few people as possible.
In any new organization pattern, there will be difficulties in adjustments, and our purpose is to increase the efficiency of this operation and give constructive help with the development of this system.
There have always been teacher aides. Is this an accelerated program?
Yes, it is. Some of the teacher aides in the past have helped with clerical work in the offices and this type thing. But because it's so necessary for teachers to do instructional work, which is what they've been trained to do, this is the reason that we have been training the aides.